Привет, ребята! It is our third lesson of our Russian course for very beginners. By this time, you already have to know how to read in the Russian language. If you don't know it yet, it's not a problem. You just have to watch lesson number 1. It is called the alphabet. And also, you have to know how to determine the gender of the Russian nouns. If you don't know it yet, you have to watch lesson number 2. Okay, so it is lesson number 3. It is not going to be very long. Anyway, I'm going to give you very important information. Okay, let's start with the reading rule number 2. First, let me remind you the rule number 1, reading rule number 1. Unstressed O should be pronounced like A. So O in unstressed position is pronounced like A. Here we have the reading rule number 2. It says that unstressed year is pronounced like E. So, as you see, we have letter year, sound year. In stressed position, we should say year. But if year is in unstressed position, we should pronounce it like E. Okay, let's take a look at the example. So the first word, as you see, year here is in unstressed position. Year is not stressed. So you should pronounce it like E, okay? So first that you have to do, I've told you this already, but I want to remind you that the first thing that you should do is to divide a word into syllables. So here you go, we can see that the word is divided into syllables already. So the first syllable is not stressed, so we should say E, okay? Секунда. Okay. U is stressed, so it means that we should pronounce it a bit longer, okay? Секунда, секунда, секунда. Great. Number 2. Again, year is not stressed. We should say E instead of year. Okay. Театр, театр. Great. Number 3. Метр. Here, year is stressed. It doesn't have stress above. Anyway, we don't need to place this stress because year, this vowel, is the only vowel in this word, so obviously it is stressed. Okay? Метр. Number 4. Метро. Метро. Number 5. Year is stressed, as you see, so we should say clear sound year. Ракета. And also this syllable is stressed, so that means that we should pronounce it a little bit longer, okay? Ракета, ракета. Okay, the next one. Теория, теория. Great. And it's very important to mention that if you see two vowels, like in our case, standing together, you should pronounce each of the vowel very clear. So I have to hear all of the vowels very clear. Don't try to make one sound out of these two sounds. No, it doesn't work this way. We have to pronounce clear each of the sounds, okay? Теория, теория. Okay. The next one. Система, система. Okay. The next one. Вена. Ye is stressed, so Вена. Okay. And the final word, as you can see, we have two vowels over here, year and year, and the first one is not stressed, the second one is stressed. So the first one should be E, the second one should be year, okay? Венеция, Венеция. Okay. Now let's go to grammar. I need to teach you a very important question word in the Russian language. So let me read it for you. Кто это? Кто это? Кто это? Кто means who. Это means this. So the question means who is this? Кто это? The question кто это refers to people and animals. Например, for example, кто это? это студентка. Кто это? Это собака. Let's compare the Russian language with the English language. Okay, the question in the Russian language is кто это? In English it is who is this? Let's count the number of words in the Russian language. So here we have 1, 2, we have only 2 words here, and in English we have 1, 2, and 3, which means that in the Russian language we don't have the verb to be. It doesn't mean that we don't have it at all. No, we do have it, but in the present tense, it's very important. In the present tense, like here, we just don't pronounce it, okay? So we have it, but we just skip it. We don't pronounce it. In the present tense, it's very important. That is why in English we have who is this, but in Russian we don't say this, okay? We just have кто это, great? And here we have the answer. Это студентка. And again, in the Russian language we have only 2 words, and in the English language we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's take a look at the difference between Russian and English. So here we have this, which is это, okay? Is, we don't have is, so again, we don't use the verb to be in the present tense. We have it, but we don't use it, okay? It is an article. In the Russian language we don't have articles at all, okay? And student, studentka. So actually this and student, only 2 words that coincide in the Russian language. Okay, это собака, this is a dog. We have the same thing, we have the same difference here. Okay, so we don't have articles and we don't use the verb to be in the present tense in Russian. Okay. So again, кто это? We use this question when we talk about people and we talk about animals. Кто это? Кто это? And when I pronounce it not like 2 separate words. I don't say кто это. No, I pronounce it like one word. Кто это? So practice. Кто это? Кто это? And when we ask a question, we have to raise our intonation. Okay, our intonation goes up when we make a question. Кто это? Кто это? Okay. And let's take a look at another question. It is что это? Что это? As you can see, we have sounds ch and t. When we pronounce them together, they make the sound sh, sh. Что это? Что это? Что means what, and we use this question что это when we talk about inanimate objects. Что это? Okay, for example, что это? Это гитара. Что это? Это телефон. Okay, and now let's practice. Okay, let's practice. As you can see here, we have different words. Some of them refer to people, some of them refer to inanimate objects. So your task is following. You have to make 3 sentences. The first sentence is a question that you have to choose depending on the photo that you see here, depending on the object or person that you see on the photo. So if it is inanimate object, you should make a question что это? If you see that there is a person on a photo, you have to make a question кто это? Because it is a person. Кто это? Then you have to answer who this is or what this is. And also, the third sentence, you have to determine the gender of this person or of this noun, okay? For example, here we can see a house. A house in Russian is дом, okay? So your question should be что это? Because it is an animate object. Что это? The second sentence is the answer. Это дом, okay? And after that, you have to determine the gender of this noun. Дом is masculine, okay? It ends in consonant, m, that's why it is masculine. Это он. Okay, guys? So this is the task for you. You have to make 3 sentences. Question, answer, and then you have to determine the gender of the object or person that you see on the photo. Okay? Here is the list of words that you have to use. Okay, and to check yourself, you just have to go to the end of our video. Here are the answers to these exercise. So let's practice.